Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for this session in our Future of Canadian Innovation Virtual Summit. We're joined today by Lindsay Morrison, our Director of Digital Manufacturing, and Colin Johnson, our Director of Sales for Western Canada here at CAD Today, they will be talking about how CAM can help you program smarter and machine faster. Before we get things started, there are a couple of quick housekeeping items to mention. This session is one of 9 sessions taking place this week as part of our virtual launch. If you haven't already done so, you can still register for the remaining breakout sessions by visiting our website and checking out our online calendar. Even if you can't attend live, registering will ensure that you get the recording afterwards. We will be leaving some time open at the end of today's session for a Q&A. You'll see a webinar chat at the top of the screen. Just click on that icon to open up the chat and simply enter your questions as they come up. We'll do our best to get to them all live, but if we run out of time, we'll be sure to follow up with you afterwards. All right, without further ado, I will pass things over to Colin to get us started.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining. I am stealing some of Lindsay's time to introduce a few concepts on metal 3D printing, as we are traditional manufacturers here in this in this webinar. We have a quick poll and just a very introductory bunch of slides, or several slides, to introduce metal 3D printing. So looking forward to seeing your interest in that. We're then going to go into CAD CAM 2022, what's new, and also briefly touch on the new cloud options in this environment. Of course, at the end, we'll make ourselves available for any questions, comments, and follow-ups. So metal 3D printing has been available in the marketplace to a certain extent for almost 15 years, but really in the last 3-4 years, the technology has matured so much that it is now much more economical, very reliable, and quick and fast, in the sense that you can achieve production level throughput with metal printing. So we'll go through that. We'll go just a very brief video on the fundamentals of metal 3D printing, some of the production capabilities, and how many parts can you make in a day, basically. The materials now available, very impressive list, and we'll quickly touch on a couple of use cases that illustrate just how far the printing has come. So this is a very quick video, briefly demonstrating the fundamentals of powder-based metal 3D printing. A fine line layer of powder is deposited on the build plate. It is then fused through laser thermal energy with extremely high resolution over an iterative process, layer by layer. It builds it up within the build chamber surrounded by powder, and following the manufacturing of the part, the powder is then removed. It literally just falls away with no post-processing. You get your finished metal part. I believe we did have a quick poll that we were going to run just to kind of gauge their current understanding and just opinion of what metal 3D printing and 3D printing in general, what the general understanding is. Are there assumptions of barriers to entry? So if we could just throw that poll up. Okay. So we have 4 for available materials, and one respondent with I don't know. Hopefully the I don't know. Please put in your thoughts at the end of it, and I'll definitely address the available materials for the rest of the group. So this slide here, production numbers. The main KPI when you talk about additive manufacturing, especially with metal, is the build rate, or build volume is also a commonly used term. So we can get up to 150 centimeters cubed per hour. Keeping in mind that this is lights off manufacturing, and you can put it on over the weekend or after you leave for work and come back, and you can have liters upon liters of additive manufactured parts out of metal. Another couple industry leading considerations is the build envelope. So you can see I've identified 300 millimeters by 400 meters. So you have a foot by 1.3 feet, essentially. Another consideration, material cost. This does go a little bit towards our popular answer for materials in the poll. Material costs are about 20% higher than market value. So right now, you might go see the market value for 316 steel is $45 per kilogram. If you were to use that material in your additive process, it's about 20% higher. Now, there's a big qualification for that too, because there's very, very little waste. In subtractive manufacturing, you have your your unused material, or your biomaterial. So that's usually not a problem with additive. Labor considerations, as I said, the additive manufacturing has reached a maturity where the technology and the automation, you can produce 30 parts a day using only 10% of a full-time employee to do it. It's really quite, that's where the latest advancements have been, is in that automation. And so for the audience members here who identified material selection as their barrier to entry, please have a look at this list. And in the comments section, we can circle back at the end of this after Lindsay's material. But you can look at all those families of metals, and within each of those 10 numbered bullets, there's several materials available within that. Different titanium, different nickel alloys, different number 9 aluminum alloys, amorphous metals. Even in the medical field, copper alloys are there. So please, for your own business needs and curiosities, think about the materials that you didn't think were available. Throw it up in the chat, and at the end of this, we can talk about what the application or what the end user experience is like using those materials. And we can even talk about some use cases if we have time at the end. So if there's no questions popping up in the chat right away here, I'll just go to my last slide and then give Lindsay back the conch. So I've selected these two parts. One, because I know how expensive brake calipers are if you were to buy them in the market. This one has a magnesium alloy combination. It just shows the real sweet spot for additive manufacturing. High value. If you were to buy a set of good brake pads for your car, you're looking at $2,500. You can print these quite inexpensively, remembering that the material costs are only 20% that on market value. And on the right, copper. Those are that is a uniquely designed set of heat exchangers, just a once-through copper heat exchanger. But again, those would be very difficult to manufacture via traditional methods. One next slide, which is a little noisy, but just gives an indication of all the various geometries and some of the applications or some of the application use cases for this technology. And that's it. So again, please put some questions in the comments. And my final note before I give it back to Lindsay is that additive manufacturing does not replace traditional manufacturing methods. For complex geometries or geometries that were impossible or near impossible due to financial reasons for traditional manufacturing, that's where additive comes in. It doesn't replace the CNC heartbeat of many production floors. It is just another option. They're complementary, not exclusive to each other. That's it. Thank you.
So I think I can take over here. Madeline, I think she has another poll for you guys that we might run before we start this presentation. So if you just want to put that one up. Just curious as to what everybody's using currently, if you are using any CAM softwares out there, and then we can take a look at what we have to offer here at CAD Micro. So I did want to go through each of our CAM products that we cover here. I'm going to do kind of a what is it section on each of these as well for any new users that aren't currently using our CAM software. And then we'll also go through the what's new sections of the software. So we'll start with SOLIDWORKS CAM. So most people have heard about SOLIDWORKS CAM, but basically what this is a CAM software that SOLIDWORKS has added into their product suite. This was added in 2018, and it's actually a version of CAMWorks, which we also offer through CAD Micro. So with SOLIDWORKS CAM, there's both a standard and a professional version of this. So the standard is included with your subscription of any version of SOLIDWORKS, so even SOLIDWORKS Standard. So if you are on subscription, you do get this piece of software for free. So 2.5 and basic 3-axis milling inside the standard. So that will get you quite a few different tool paths and the capabilities of programming quite a few different parts just with the standard version. It also comes with automatic feature recognition. So this is, again, a feature-based software It's taking a look at your CAD model. It does not need to be created inside of SOLIDWORks to be programmed. This can be an STL file, it can be a Parasolid, whatever you import into SOLIDWORks. And then what our automatic feature recognition will do is it'll go through that actual CAD model and it'll find all of the machinable features on the model. So any pockets, any holes, all of the different feature types that we want to machine on that part. The other option that it does come with is an NC editor with backplotting. So this is actually a version of Simco that they've added in, if you've used that before. So basically, when we post-process our program from SOLIDWORKS CAM, we can open this up into the editor, and we can also backplot our program inside this editor to see what the simulation looks like from the G code, the actual G code. There is also tolerance-based machining that is included with the standard version of SOLIDWORKS CAM. So if you are adding any kind of tolerances or MBD to your models, we can actually apply machining strategies based on the tolerance, which is a really neat feature. And one of the reasons why SOLIDWORKS chose CAMWorks to be the CAM software inside of their system. So when we get into the professional version, that's where we're getting into assembly machining. That's actually in the video currently. This is where you can actually model up the holder or the vise or the table or the whole machine if you really wanted to. We can actually have a full grouping of parts that we want to machine on the table, and it'll allow us to machine every single one of those parts. So assembly machining is kind of multiple part machining. And obviously it's in the SOLIDWORKS assembly file. So any changes that you make inside of the assembly or to any of the parts inside the assembly, they'll automatically change, and the toolpaths will update from that as well. It also comes with CAM configurations. So if you are looking to maybe program a turning part and then program it on the milling machine afterwards, we can actually make two different configurations based on the machines inside of the Pro version. It also comes with 4 and 5 axis positioning. So if you do index to a position, we can machine in both 4 and 5 axis on that position. Volume mills are high-speed toolpath that we have inside of the software, so that comes with the Pro as well. This is a really great tool to obviously cut back on your machining time. So if you're roughing away a whole bunch of material, this is a really great option for you. We do have this in 3-axis inside of the CAMWorks as well. Turning for CNC lathes. So the turning is inside of the professional, which is also a really great option. And that's kind of a couple of the different reasons why people might go up to the professional version. So that's a little bit about the SOLIDWORKS CAM. If you do have SOLIDWORKS CAM or you're already using it, these are some of the new features that are available in SOLIDWORKS CAM 2022. So the first one is the ability to now program in assembly mode in turning. So previously we couldn't do that. We now can do that in 2022. So you can see this part is now in an assembly. So this is really great for mill turn users. Customized color settings for the toolpath endpoints. So if you are looking at the endpoints and you want to see where those endpoints are, we can now actually customize the color of that. There's also a few other features in the display that we can customize the color of. Now that we're in the 2022 version, they've added a few different features in there. Inside of your tool selection filters, we now have an option in here containing text. So if you are looking for a specific tool and you just type in the text within the tool ID or any of the subcategories in here, it'll actually find those features for you. So if I'm looking for carbide tools specifically, then I can type in carbide and it'll list all of the carbide tools for me. So this is a really neat new filter option. This is one of my favorite features in the new 2022 version, and that's the ability to manage multiple technology databases. So previously we could only have one, and then there's a metric and imperial inside of each of those. But now we can actually have as many as we want. So if different users want to use different technology databases, or if you wanted to make a database for maybe all of your routers and then one for all of your mills, you could do that as well. So it really opens up the database options. And then the last option I have shown in here is the support for non-planar surfaces for the Z-axis probing. So previously, the Z-axis would just be a point in the Z direction. We can now actually use non-planar surfaces. So you can see the surface that's been selected here, and it'll actually pick the topmost point of that Z face in the Z direction, and use that for the probing. So it's a new enhancement as well for 2022. And there's lots more options that they've added in. But again, if you do want to go through any of these, there is a what's new document. But again, we can also sit down and go through some of these features with you one-on-one as well. So looking at CAMWorks, this is another software solution that we offer. And this is the main kind of software solution if you are looking at anything above kind of 2-axis milling and turning. So we offer milling, turning, mill turn machines, wire EDM. If you're looking to laser, water jet, plasma, those can also actually be programmed in SOLIDWORKS CAM as well. Routers, we also do nesting. So there's quite a few different options inside of the CAMWorks product family. And again, this is all inside of SOLIDWORKS. So it is using the exact same functionality that SOLIDWORKS CAM does, and same integration. It's just called CAMWorks instead of SOLIDWORKS CAM. So there's just a tab inside there called CAMWorks instead of the SOLIDWORKS CAM. This is actually a video showing the volume mill tool path, so you can kind of see the high-speed tool path that's in there. That's the 2.5 axis, but we do also have a 3-axis version of that. So just to move on here, inside of CAMWorks, they haven't actually released the 2022 new features yet, but halfway through the year, I think in September, they actually released what they call 2021 Plus. So they had quite a few new features that they wanted to release prior to 2022. So I'm going to go through some of those features now. So all of the new features in SOLIDWORKS CAM 2022 are actually in 2021 Plus, as well as the option of this CAMWorks task pane that they've added in. So basically inside the task pane or your resources on the right-hand side of your SOLIDWORKS window, there is this window that you can open, and it'll actually provide you a lot of information. So all of the tutorials are located in here, some different online resources, so videos and information that you can find there about CAMWorks. It also has all of the new webinars that CAMWorks is promoting and events that they're holding, as well as all of the new releases. So that the alert section here would actually show you all of the new releases as they come out. So you would know immediately as soon as something new is available for you to download. So any service packs and that kind of thing. Another thing that they added was toolpath compensation renaming. So this was a little bit hard to decipher what you were changing in the compensation settings in previous versions. So now they've actually added in brackets kind of different G-code options that you're actually going to be changing as you're doing this. So it gives you a little bit more information about this, and then the picture obviously changes as you click on different nodes inside of the window. So that's a really neat new feature that they've kind of enhanced on the compensation side. This is the biggest one that they really wanted to introduce in 2021 Plus is the prime turning. So this is in partnership with Sandvik, and they basically what prime turning is kind of like a high-speed turning tool path, and it actually allows you to save obviously the tool life of your turning inserts, as well as obviously speeding up that machining process. So what it actually does is it'll increase the speed of the tool path and the feeds and speeds based on the information from Sandvik. which is all included inside of our software. And it actually will run the tool backwards, so in a reverse motion across the part. And that's, again, if you do want any more information about that, I can definitely show you and give you kind of a demo of how that works. But there's lots of information in the help menu as well if you do download the 2021 Plus for CAMWorks. But this is a really great feature that they've added in for turning. Also, with all of the toolpath options, you do also have all of the inserts, the new inserts, directly from Sandvik. So you can also download any of the Sandvik turning inserts from their website. So if they do add any new ones down the road, we can also import those. But they do have, I think, 85 different inserts available, both the A and the B insert versions. So A would be for more of a finishing tool path, and then the B would be for the roughing. So all of those are imported into our tool library inside of CAMWorks as well. And again, there's a few more enhancements with the 2021 Plus. We will obviously let everybody know as soon as the 2022 is announced, and let you know what's new in that version as well. So I did also want to kind of cover the different SOLIDWORKS CAM and CAMWorks packages for anybody that isn't currently using this. So in red is the SOLIDWORKS CAM packages. So you've got the standard and the professional. I kind of explained those a little bit earlier. So the standard is included with subscription of any of your SOLIDWORKS seats. SOLIDWORKS CAM professional is where we get into more of the turning or assembly machining for 5-axis indexing. Then we have standard inside of CAMWorks. So this is where we're getting into the CAMWorks modules. So that offers subspindle turning and rotary milling. The milling professional, and again, it kind of works backwards. So if I'm purchasing milling professional, I get all of this as well inside of it. So milling professional is where we get into more of the 3-axis toolpath. So this has full 3-axis toolpath capabilities. There are some light machining toolpaths inside of the standard. So there's a couple different toolpaths in here. This one, you get the full package. So this has 3-axis milling with undercutting, as well as the ability to program mill turn machines. Under the turning professional section here, we have the ability to program synchronous machining. So both turrets at the same time. We have virtual machine standard simulation. So basically the ability to view our G-code format inside of the turning machine, or G-code simulation, I guess, inside of the turning machine. And then we also have mill turn. So again, if you are working with mill turn machines or more complicated turning machines, this is a great package as well. And the last package here includes everything, and that's the premium package. So that also comes with both 4th and 5th axis simultaneous machining. There are additional modules that you can get with CAMWorks, and that is the ability to program and wire EDMs. There's a new wire EDM professional available. Nesting works, so a really great nesting software that's available. We also have the ability to create custom post processors for your shop. And then we also have something called CAMWorks Shop Floor, which I'm going to go over in a couple of minutes. That is a really great viewer available for CAMWorks. So that's this slide here. So this is a standalone piece of software, so you do not need a seat of SOLIDWORKS to run this on your computer. And this is basically meant for the machinist on the floor. So basically, after the programmer has programmed the part in CAMWorks, they would send their program, their shop floor kind of document, to the machinist, and they would be able to open this up on their computer beside the machine. So that's why you don't need a full seat of SOLIDWORKS for this. It has full simulation tools. So you have the step-through simulation. We have the stock simulation that we have in CAMWorks. And we also have the G-code backplot from the NC editor. So full simulation tools, access to the G-code viewer. So again, this is the NC editor that we can open the G-code up and take a look at the actual code. We have access to view the setup sheets in here. So if you create setup sheets inside of CAMWorks, we can open the setup sheets directly from this package as well. Full measuring and viewing tools. So basically, if there's any dimensions or GD&T on this part, we'd be able to rotate the actual 3D CAD model around and see all of those features. You can also use any kind of measurement tools to measure features on that part inside this software as well, and a full annotation viewer as well. So lots of different kind of views that we can take a look at inside of the shop floor interface. And you can also add in any kind of documents that machinist might need to see as well. So let's say, for example, if there's a drawing or a PDF that needs to be attached with this part that they need to see before they machine this part, you can add all of that into the shop floor package, and then they open it up and everything is in there. You also this is part of the SOLIDWORKS CAD model, so any of the changes, the design changes that are made, it would automatically just update into the shop floor package. So this links everything back into the SOLIDWORKS model, which is really great. We do have a few end-of-year CAMWorks promotions, so they actually start today. Yesterday, and they end December 28th, so at the end of the year. So there's a really great buy one, get one free promotion that is available. So if a customer buys a CAMWorks Professional seat, you can either get one free CAMWorks Professional bundle with it, a free shop floor floating license, or a free network license with that. So it's a really, really great promotion for professional users, as well as if you were to buy the premium package, you would also get the option of the premium bundle for free, or two of the following free options. So the CAMWorks Professional, the shop floor, or the network license. So really, really great options for the buy one, get one free. And then you also have the option of, if none of these are going to work for you, if you did want to pick up shop floor, by the end of the year, you can get 50% off with that. So again, if you are interested in shop floor, it's a really great product. And again, reach out to us and we can definitely give you a demo of what that includes, but it's a really great option. I do want to touch on SWOOD as well, as it's another CAM software that we do offer. And this is specifically for woodworking companies. So SWOOD comes with both the design and the CAM options. So you don't have to buy both of them together. You can buy one separately from the other. But the SWOOD design side basically is for kind of box goods, any kind of cabinetry, or things that you basically are making a lot of all of the time. So obviously you can make customizations to it and you can adjust the sizes and change things like that. But you're pulling from a library of existing features that you would create. And then you create the customized feature from that. So if you're creating drawers and different features inside of the box, it'll actually adjust all of the hardware and the sizes and the sheets and the material, and all of that comes with it. So it's a really great feature for woodworking. And then the CAM side of it obviously is integrated with the design, or again, you can purchase this alone. But what the good part about the CAM side is they have been working with routers for their whole career. So basically, all of the routers have been proven. The post processors are phenomenal. We can simulate aggregates, saw blades, any kind of interesting features that routers come with compared to milling machines. So this is a really, really, really great CAM software for routers. They do have full reporting as well for this. So this is a really great feature if you are going to use the design with the CAM. This will report all of the hardware that's coming with it, costing. It'll show the sheet that you're going to nest this on and how many parts are nested on that sheet. Obviously, there's nesting with this as well. So lots of information specifically for woodworking. For any users that are already using SWOOD, they just released 2021 SP3. That's available for download right now. They, again, have not, kind of the same with CAMWorks, they haven't released what's new in 2022 version yet. But again, we'll let you know as soon as that is released. And then I think we're going to switch back over to Colin.
Thanks, Lindsay. Just going to touch on SOLIDWORKS 3D Experience. It's the online SOLIDWORKS option that ties in together all the Dassault systems and SOLIDWORKS options into one collaborative ecosystem. So all the functionality that you're accustomed to with the existing desktop options within this space are available on the 3D Experience and more. So one of the major differences is on a quarterly basis, as your team's needs change, adopt, and grow, you can a la carte, without going through the license acquisition routine and process with your VAR, you can, within the 3D Experience, customize the tools available to all your team members as they need individually. You can see all the list. There's technologist, programmer, prismatic, shop floor programmer, excuse me, just to name a few. So that's the real value of the 3D Experience. Couple that with the project management and automatic ERP system within the cloud, and it's a very powerful tool. So as you start up new areas of your business or your team, this should be part of the conversation, part of the technology adoption conversation. So we can go on that video. It's already playing. I'm not sure if the sound is coming through though.
This is just kind of showing different options inside of the Delmia NC programs. But yeah, you can program in milling, wire, mill turn, as well as robotic programming as well.
And as companies look at the digital twin and how to incorporate aspects of that technology into their operation, this is part of that equation as well. I'm not getting the sound on that.
It's done.
We'll share the link after.
Yeah.
Everyone can check it out because the narration there does give a good overview. Okay, that's it for content. So yeah, I'd like to open it up to the floor for any questions or comments based on the material and the topics we discussed today.
Awesome. Thank you, Lindsay and Colin. That was an excellent presentation. So as promised, we do have some time left for questions. We do have a couple that were sent in to us beforehand, so let's go ahead and get started on those. I have a question here for you, Colin, and it is, what is the price of these Trump units versus FFF metal printing?
Yeah, so that's a very common question. Of course, the answer is there is a range. FFF printing is appropriate for very small production run parts. So the cost ranges from about 20 or 30% more from typical FFF technologies up to about twice the price or so. Now, metal printing does have a capital investment, but the real change really comes down to the price per part, right? So the price per part can be up to 5 times less expensive with this technology, and so that capital investment, typically has a much faster payback period than the older metal printing technologies. So if anyone's interested, please reach out. As I say, there are a wide range of production level metal powder printing machines, and happy to discuss that.
Awesome, thanks. I have a question here for you, Lindsay, and it is, do you have training classes for SOLIDWORKS CAM?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a training class for SOLIDWORKS CAM Standard as well as for Professional, and then the full range of CAMWorks products as well. So full in-class or online training classes.
Great, that's good to know. And then I have another one here for you, Lindsay. And it is, do I need to have SOLIDWORKS in order to use SOLIDWORKS CAM or CAMWorks?
Yes, yeah. So that is a kind of a prerequisite for this because there are everything is integrated inside of SolidWorks. So you do have to have SolidWorks to have any of the CAM products with this. Yep.
Great, thanks. So that is all the questions that we have here today. So once again, thank you to Colin and Lindsay for a great presentation. And thank you all for joining us here today in our Future of Canadian Innovation Summit. We hope to see you again at some of our remaining sessions. Thank you.
Thank you.